I think I need to change the subject before NFL officials come at me like I'm Charles Oakley sitting there with a ticket to watch a game. So,
wow, that was crazy last night.
So walk me through. You're calling the game with Breen, who's been there. I mean, who's seen everything in Madison Square Garden
except for that.
Yeah. So what happened?
Well, so it's mid-first quarter. I think Porzingis goes to the lane, and he gets fouled, but I see everybody standing up at the baseline. So I'm onto that, and at first I thought it was Rodman because a guy came in and fell down, and I saw kind of his hair. Oak's hair is now gray, but I thought it was like painted like Rodman used to have or whatever. And then he got up, and I recognized it was Charles Oakley. So Breen's hitting me like as the replay comes on to be like talking about basketball, which I'm supposed to do while I'm working. And I'm like, no, Charles Oakley's over there. And I think he's going after Dolan, because he sits right there. I know that. And then you see, the poke to the head. And I thought it was fight night in the Garden because you could hear the oohs and ahs from the whole crowd. Every time a shove or a swing, it was ooh, ooh, and then they get him out of there. Barely, 4, 5, 6 guys had to pull him out, and we were just like dumbfounded.
So what? I don't know. I'm kind of going nuts about this because to me this is the lowest of the low for the Knicks, and that what this shows you, even though Oakley, could have maintained his composure a little better. Although I'm seeing now on a New York Post sports Twitter feed what you're referring to, which was Oakley initially putting his hands up, basically saying, I got you, okay. Or that was at least the symbol of like, I'm not touching anybody. And he went down. He fell down on the ground. Somehow, some way he wound up on the floor of the stands of Madison Square Garden. And to me, this is the lowest of the low because he just from what I'm hearing, he just wants to get a meeting with James Dolan to try and figure out how he can be part of this 70th celebration for the Knicks here.
There's a lot of different stories, that are coming out. He's had some beef with Dolan for years. He was unhappy with the way, whatever, after his career was over, that he was treated by the Knicks. Evidently, he wasn't allowed to come to Knicks games. And then last night, if he's just sitting there and not saying a word, where there's other people that have said that he was being out of control and yelling stuff at Dolan. Now, if he was just sitting there and they had security come up and 4 or 5 guys made it an issue, I can understand how upset Charles would be. He admittedly he knows he made a mistake by putting his hand on these guys and doing what he did. But if he was just sitting there and nothing was being said and Dolan just put some security guards on him and said, get Oakley out of here, then you can see why he would be that upset with their history.
So based on what you know, about Charles and what you and the rest of those who played in those times know about Charles Oakley, and the Knicks saying we hope he gets some help. Do you know if there's help needed?
No,
for him?
that was a low blow, I thought, to say something like that. There was nothing involved other than you can just see how upset he is at Dolan for the way he's been treated, and they're doing their 70-year anniversary. He's not a part of it, and I think that has made him very, very upset. And they attacked his character with that comment.
And so, again, just to repeat, there's nothing that you, your colleagues, friends of Charles, your personal knowledge that there is something wrong with him that he needs to seek some sort of professional help based off of last night? No,
I think that was a cheap shot. And, and I do know also that there was an opportunity for Charles Oakley to be involved in New York with this ball club, either on a coaching or in the office, if he were to reach out to Dolan, and I believe he declined to do that at some point.
So the meeting of the minds between these two guys is not the fact that it hasn't happened is not solely on James Dolan, based on what you know.
That's what I had heard, that there was an opportunity, and I believe it was Phil Jackson that gave him that opportunity. And basically a phone call was supposed to be made that I believe Charles Oakley declined on. So nonetheless, Charles is upset with the way he handled it, but you can see how angered he is at Dolan and the New York Knicks and the way that he feels like he's been treated.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.